Live. All right. So, welcome to the Create Your New Life Real Estate Training, powered every week by Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. Want to welcome everybody to the broadcast and to the training today. So, um, it's something that again that we do every week. Just we talk about different topics. I send out emails, so I know I have people on my email blast. I have people um, through our agents. We just try to get as many people to get involved and to see the different materials and the topics that we have planned. So again, welcome. Now, the title for today's session is called "Time Waits for No Man." Get moving now. Time waits for no man. Get moving now. The reason that I titled it that is because right now you got about 60 more days of strong opportunity to capitalize on. Because as we know, typically the last quarter of the year, things slow down. And the reason being is because you have holidays. So you got Halloween, you got school starting, you got Halloween, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, you have New Year's. So boom, you have all those holidays back to back, and things just begin to kind of tail off towards the end of the year. So what you want to do is that take you want to take the momentum of these last 60 days or the third quarter of the year, and you want to take that momentum and drive you into the last quarter of the year. So we're at 60 days come August 1st. What should you be doing in these last 60 days? And that's what we're going to talk about to position you to finish strong through the last quarter. Okay, so for those that are joining, because again, the training, I send it out for my agents, which you all have the opportunity to come on as participants where you can speak and we can engage. So we want to, let's see, we got somebody trying to get on. Let me try to help them real quick. So our agents have the opportunity to where they can do that. But we have individuals that are not Brooks and Davis agents that I would like to expose the information to. So we have different agents that kind of check in with us once a week. And I just want to say thank them as well as the agents for joining in. Again, Brooks and Davis, we're always looking for talented individuals to be a part of the organization. We want to assist in your development and you making more money in real estate. Our co-founder, Mr. Brooks, he's ready to have a sit down with anybody about their future. You can speak to some of our agents that's already a part of the team about helping you, like this training says, create the life that you anticipated when you made the decision to want to get in real estate, as well as ultimately at the end of the day, it's about making money, because money is a part of those things that increases and helps that quality of life that we're looking for. So at any point, you guys can stop me. I love the engagement. I love the questions. I love the comments. If anybody has any comments about things that I say, please stop me, because I truly believe that's where the magic happens. It happens in the dialogue. Okay, so most people know that for last week I was out the entire week. And the reason that I was out was because I was on vacation. And what I wanted to do when I got back, we took some pictures. So I know, people have been asking, well, how was the vacation? How are things? So I just I pulled out a couple of photos that I want to share with you guys about, what we did while we was on vacation. So I'm going to show a couple of pictures and tell you a little bit about that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I still want to share because we're family, Brooks and Davis family, this kind of things that family do. We share pictures. So we went on a cruise. So boom, that's me on the cruise ship. All the people hanging out. That's us. We were in Jamaica, so we went to Jamaica, and right there they got a place called Margaritaville, where you can have dinner and things, but you can kind of jump in the water. That's my little man. So us hanging over the balcony. That's my mom. So it's my little man's grandmother. We're on a boat at the Cayman Islands, about to get on the port. then my munchkins. So Madison's my 9-year-old, Michael's my middle son, and Morgan. So we're again at the Cayman Islands at one of their beaches. I think it was called, I can't remember the name of it, Captain John's or something like that. No, Calico Jacks, that was the name of it. So it was a pretty cool spot. Me and my wife in Cozumel. We're in me and the wife, we're in Cozumel. Beautiful beaches in Cozumel, beautiful beaches in the Cayman Islands in Jamaica. That's our cruise boat again. When we went to Cozumel, there were 3 other cruise boats there, so I guess they do a lot of cruising in Cozumel. That's actually us on the boat, my 2 little munchkins. We were doing towel animals, so I thought that was pretty cool. They were teaching us how to make these little animals in our rooms of different by using the towels. So I thought that was pretty cool too. And that's my baby girl right there, my oldest. This is her right here doing. We went to see. She actually performed on the cruise as one of the major performances for the attendees of all the cruise people. So that's why we were there, and we did that the second to the last day before it was over. So the reason that I wanted to show you guys, my picture and share that with you is because at the end of the day, we have to be doing this business for more than just doing the business. Like, it has to be something, it has to be greater than just, making money, helping people get in the houses. Like, it has to be truly for a quality of life, to afford me the opportunity to spend 7 days with my family, my wife, my children, with my mom, our sisters, they were there. For us to be able to do those things, the reason being was real estate. Real estate helped put me in a position to go to Jamaica and Cozumel and do all that stuff. So truly, this business can put you in a position you can live out the type of life, and it doesn't have to be all work, working long hours for little pay. Like, real estate does not have to be like that. Now, there's a lot of your cohorts out there, and that's the life that they have by being licensed agents. They have that life of lots of work, lots of hours, no time with the family, always working, stressed out, and then at the end of the day, they're on the short end of the stick and they're not making any money. That's the majority of the industry. I just wanted you to know that is not how it has to be in this business, that you can truly have a life that can afford you those things. Let's see, I missed the last picture. So that was the actual ship that we were on, which was the Carnival Freedom. Okay, so that was my trip. Like I said, I wasn't going to spend too much time on it. The next thing, let's talk production. So, pending board, it looks like over a span of less than 30 days that we've gotten rid of $1.5 million worth of production. So, I mean, that's a good and a bad thing, right? The good thing is that people have been closing deals and people been getting paid. I mean, commission checks been getting cut. People been making money, right? That's the good thing. The bad thing is that we're not replacing that production. So we got to get people under contract. We got to help people make decisions, buyers, help to make them decisions on purchasing homes, sellers, getting them to hire us, put their properties on the market, get them under contract. We got to pick it up, right? Because we got to increase our production. As far as the top 5, these are our top 5. So Carol's still number 1, followed by Kim Ricardo. The only change that we had is that now, Kim Stubblefield's moved up a slot and Juliana's made it back on the top 5. So that's our top 5, all right? But again, let's keep cranking. Juliana added $140,000 worth of production this week. So we want to applaud her for doing that. And look, again, for those out there that are believing, that are drinking the Kool-Aid, that the industry is bad and it's hard and nobody's doing any deals, that's not the case. And that's why every week I show you guys this, that there are people out there doing deals. And if you're not doing a deal, it's not the market, it's not the industry, it's not the buyers, it's not the sellers. You got to look in the mirror. You're the reason that you're not performing. Now we're here to help you get to that next level. But before anybody would even reach out for help, is that they have to own up to it. They got to own it. So you got to own it. All right. So we have our home seller workshop coming up. This is a great opportunity. Get in the game. Get off the fence. People are afraid to call for sale by owners. Why are they afraid to call for sale by owners? Because for sale by owners are mean. Why for sale by owners mean? I don't know, because they've gotten burned by agents in the past. Or they're do-it-yourself people. They feel like they don't see the value in agents. And they're tired of the agents calling them and trying to get them to list their house. So they feel some kind of way about it. Well, right now is an opportunity that when you call the for sale by owner and you allow them to be mad or, come off rash or be abrupt with you, once they get all of that out of their system, then you say, hey, look, I'm not calling to list your house, right? I'm calling to present a workshop that we're having that I thought may be good for you to attend, right? So I'm not calling to beg you to hire us. I'm not wanting to be a bother with you. I'm wanting to bring something of value that you may appreciate. And then you tell them about the home seller workshop that we have coming up in 2 weeks, right? So you're bringing something of value. Now, look, I know it works, right? I know you calling for sale by owners or people that maybe in the past had thought about selling their homes, things like that. I know if you call enough of those people and you tell them about this home seller workshop, that you're going to get listing opportunities out of it, right? But the one thing that I can't do is that I can't make you call the people, right? You have got to call the people. You have got to put in the work. You have got to decide today in your mind that, look, I'm going to pick things up over these next 60 days. I'm going to become extremely active, and I'm going to do things. I can give you the concepts. Believe that. I got plenty of ideas. I got plenty of concepts. I got things that we've tried that's been tried and true, versus through my experiences, through Mr. Brooks' experiences, through our experiences together as a company, through our experiences with other agents. Like, we have the concepts and the things that work. We just don't put the effort into it. You have to be the one to bring the effort and put the effort into it. So we have our sellers workshop. I'm going to be sending that flyer to you through the group me today as well. I'm going to send out an email like I did last time so you can forward it to your people. Put it on your social media. Send it out via your email blast. Like, people need to know about this workshop because there are people out there that are thinking about selling their house. They're thinking about putting their house on the market. So when they do make a decision on a listing agent, they're going to go back to the person that provided value. Okay, so if I've offered this level of workshop and education to you at no cost, they're going to see that as a value add opportunity. So take advantage of it. Let's see what else we have. Okay, so we had to cancel our stuffing party with Design Take Homes, but we're actually rescheduled that. I did that on last week, and we're going to have that Thursday, August 25th. It's going to be at 2 o'clock at their complex. Now, again, for those that weren't in the party to it, the concept behind the stuffing party is that you can take a $50,000 lot where you would make, if you're making a 3% commission on that, where you would make $1,500, and yeah, I did that right. Yeah, $1,500, and you can dramatically increase your profit potential by building maybe a $300,000 or $400,000 house on that lot, right? So now your commission has gone from $1,500 to, if you put a $300,000 house on there, to $9,000. So you've increased your profit potential by $7,500 just by being creative, right? So all you're doing is partnering with a custom builder, marketing their product on the lot, and then you're selling it. I'll give you an example. The reason that I even got the information and the reschedule was from a closing that we did last week where we did this very concept. $15,000 lot where made $900, work both sides. If you're working both sides of that deal, you're making $900. $15,000 lot. Put one of their products on it, acquired the buyer. The buyer's building a $276,000 property on that. So now we went from, even though I'd put the lot on the, we went from, even if I'd put the lot on the MLS and another agent was involved, making $450 off the sale of a $15,000 lot, went from making $450 that to getting 3% off of a $276,000 house, which is, $8,000 and above, right? So increased profit potential, really, and then we still made the $900 off the listing. So we made close to 10 grand by doing it that way. Went from $450 to then $10,000 just by being creative, right? That's $9,500 increase in profit potential, right? So this concept works, and it works well. It's just a matter of, we're going to do is get a list of homeowners. We're going to mail out to that list a specialized letter with our letterhead, and then we're going to get these listings, and we're going to put Design Tech Home products on these listings, and then get paid the 3% as well as the 6% on the sale of the land, depending if that buyer comes with an agent or not. So those are the concepts that we're talking about. The only people that's going to be able to get these listings are the people that come to the stuffing party on that Thursday. So you got to come, because that's the only way you're going to get on the list. So when people start calling and wanting to get these listings and put their lots and their lands, get those listed so we can market them, the only people that's going to get those opportunities are the ones that attend the stuffing party and stuff. Now, the last time we canceled it because we were going to do like a little happy hour in the restaurant, and they were remodeling it because they have a restaurant in their complex. So once we do the work, then we'll probably get together and have a couple of drinks, some glasses of wine, and just kind of connect with, the agents as well as with the Design Tech Home sales counselors, which, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that because we talked about that before when we had our last event with them, but that's another good contact to have, is a sales counselor who has, hundreds of people that comes across their desk every week talking about wanting to sell their land, and they're not represented by an agent. So that's something that we're doing. Okay, something I'm extremely excited about is our new Realtor Recruitment Rally. Realtor Recruitment Rally. So what is that? The Realtor Recruitment Rally is that we have a goal to be at 50 Brooks and Davis agents by the end of the year. Now, I believe that was conservative. I felt like we probably should have been shooting for 75 agents. But, Brooks brought me down to reality. So we're trying to get to 50 agents by the end of the year. Currently, we're at 36 sponsorees when you look at Trek's numbers. We're at 36. We lost a couple of them over this last week because they didn't pay their HAR dues. Got to pay your HAR dues, because if not, we're going to have to send you back to Trek. But we're at 36 sponsorees. That means we got 14 agents that we got to get to reach our goal. Well, one of the things that we want to do is that, beginning August 1st, anybody that you refer to Brooks and Davis and they sign up, you're going to get a 5% override of the production that they do indefinitely. That means that's mailbox money. That means you're instantly becoming a broker, right? Because now you're getting paid off of the efforts of somebody else. All you have to do is refer them, right? So now that gives you incentive to get you some passive income by meeting somebody, introducing them to a company that's going to help them develop and help them grow, and letting Mr. Brooks sit down with them, show them the benefits of being a part of us, and then as they become successful, you're going to get paid off of the production that they do. We just need you to be out there recruiting and telling people about it. Now, we've already had a couple of agents that have started, right? And they're going to they've started telling people about the opportunity to get this. But again, it's a great opportunity now for you to go out and you recruit and you tell people about Brooks and Davis, and you can now earn 5% of their production indefinitely. It's a great opportunity. And again, I'm really excited about it. We got 14 agents before we reach our goal. I know we can do it. I know you guys can do it. I'm going to send an email about this as well. But I want all of you all to get on board. Okay, so a couple of recaps. We want to be the #1 real estate company in the state by production and profitability by 2020, right? Now, That's a humongous goal. For us to do that, we have to do $7.85 billion worth of production in a 12-month span. Right now, the number one real estate company in the state is Ebby Halliday Real Estate. They've been in business 71 years, 31 offices, 1,700 agents, $7.85 billion in production. They did 20,000 transactions last year. That's who we got to beat. Their average sales price, $430,000. Right. So that's who we're trying to chase. That's who we're chasing down. I don't use the word try. Well, for us to do that, we're going to need your help. So that's why we're going to be doing these programs and getting you guys to buy in with us on these things such as the Realtor Recruiting Rally and other things to help us get there. That's why I'm always pushing getting stuff on the pending board. I'm doing the Realtor. And now keep in mind, if you're with us as we're growing and we reach and we become the number one real estate company, when we become the number one real estate company, for the things that we would have had to put in place to accomplish that, that means those that got on board made a lot of money, because we got to get you to put your production on the board. That means you making money. We got to get you to help us recruit agents. That means you're getting overrides. That means you're getting paid a lot of money on the journey to getting us to reach our goal. So this goal benefits everybody. It benefits everybody because we need everybody's help to get us there. So I just want to do a quick reminder of the fact that we're clear on where we're trying to get to. We know where we're trying to go over these next 4 years. We're 100% clear, and I think everybody should be clear on where personally what you're trying to accomplish this year, next year, the next 3 years. Like, you should know the destination where you're trying to go, because if you don't know where you're going, how do you know when you ever get there, right? What's the point of saying, hey, I'm finna go on vacation, but I want to go anywhere but not Houston, right? I mean, that's how most people live their life. They're like, well, I know I don't want what I have now, but I don't have a destination of where what I'm trying to change. Like, I know I don't like my current circumstances. I want anything but my current circumstances, but I'm not clear on what it is exactly that I want. That's how most people live life. Well, you need to get a destination in your life. You need to determine where you're trying to go. That's why vision boards are so powerful. That's why affirmations are so powerful, because they clearly put in your mind a landing point of what's it all for. Well, for us, this is our landing point as an organization for the next 20 years. Now, once we hit that goal, boom, we're going to have another destination and another destination and another destination. We're always going to be looking to move and to go somewhere. This is what we're currently looking to do. All right, so now I want to briefly go through this before we got into our training, because our training for today of what are the things you need to be doing in the next 60 days, really, we're going to be pulling some stuff from these things that I've talked about in the past. So I really, really like this one because, again, we have viewers that are not necessarily Brooks & Davis agents. Then we also have Brooks & Davis agents that kind of came on after I talked about these things. So I'm going to be revisiting this a lot because I truly believe this is one of the biggest issues in our industry, is that agents are not clear on, number one, what to do once they get licensed, number one. Number two, even if you've been licensed for a long time, what is your actual job description of, you know, the activities that you need to be accomplishing on a consistent basis to ensure that you have money in your bank account. You know, what are those things? So we constantly want to put those in your face. First one is, especially when you begin, or if you're already in business, you have to get organized. For you to have the level of sustainability to where you're doing multiple transactions per month is not going to be possible if you're not organized. It's easy to say, hey, I want to do 5 closings a month. I want to do, even if you say 3 closings, 2 closings a month, 3 closings a month. For you to do 2 closings per month consistently, there has to be a level of organization, right? I mean, if you're not organized, you'll be lucky if you're doing 1, 1.5. You're not going to be able to do the level of volume that's needed to have sustainability in this business if you're not organized. Now, if you are organized, then the sky's the limit. That's where you see people doing 5, 10, 20 transactions a month, right? It's being them and an assistant. and they're cranking out 10 to 15 closings per month, right? How is that possible? Two people cranking out, one licensed person, one assistant cranking out 15 closed transactions a month. How is that possible? It's because they're organized. They have a calendar. They stick to a calendar. They're clear on their goals. They have a CRM, customer relationship management system. There's a level of foundation and organization that they have in place, and they execute on it. So you got to get organized with your calendar and your customer relationship management system. And if you're new, you're a Brooks & Davis agent, let us help you get that in place. If you're not a Brooks & Davis agent and you're checking us out, become a Brooks & Davis agent, and we'll help you get that in place. The second thing, lead generation. Once you're organized, if you're not doing lead generation and lead follow-up daily, hear me out. If you are not doing lead generation every single day, even on the days that you're off, if you're not lead generating, right? And lead generating doesn't have to be so formal as sitting at a desk on the phone, making phone calls or door knocking. It doesn't even have to be that formalized. I know one of the things that Mr. Brooks does is that when he goes to dinner, if he feels like he got good service, he'll give thank you cards to the people that gave him service. That's lead generation, right? If I'm out and about, if I'm in the barbershop and I have my realtor shirt on with the R, I take my little man to the barbershop with me. That's lead generation, because I have on something that can spark the conversation of if a person has a real estate need or not. So you should always, lead generation is a mind frame, right? The mind frame is the thing that drives the activities. So you should always constantly be in a mind frame of lead generation, right? And then the second thing is lead follow-up. Lead generation, lead follow-up. A lot of people say that lead generation is our biggest problem. That's not really true. Lead follow-up is our biggest problem. Follow-up, fortune is in the follow-up. So we'll generate the lead, but when we don't get the response that we need the very first phone call, then we don't have any mechanisms in place to follow up on the lead. Average buyer, before they make a buying decision, whether it's to buy a house or to buy a car or to buy clothes or makeup, or if you're network marketing, your product, whatever, it says the average consumer, before they make a buying decision, needs to see you at least 7 times, right? At least 7 times, see that product or see you. Even if it's something that they want, they got to see it at least 7 times from you before they get it from you, right? So that's heavy lead follow-up, which is one of the biggest things that we drop the ball on, is the lead follow-up. And a lot of it has to do with, number one, is the fact that we're not organized and we don't have the CRMs in place. So our follow-up falls off, right? Fourth thing is you need to be going on appointments. Like, these are the things that you need to be measuring on a daily basis. Am I doing this stuff? If I don't have money in my bank account, if I don't have any properties on the office production board, if my name's not up there, if I'm not in the top 5, it's because I'm not doing these activities. These are the things that you can directly point back to that you're not doing if you don't have any production in your pipeline. Clearly. Trust me on that. I've been in this thing long enough to understand, and I'm clear 100% that these are the things that get you to the next level. Tried and true. So are you going on appointments? Are you going on appointments with buyers, going on appointments with sellers, with for sale by owners, with referral partners? You need to be getting belly to belly with somebody every week. 1 or 2 people every week. You need to be getting belly to belly, whether that's past clients, future clients, somebody, right? When it comes to a real estate matter, you got to be doing that. Negotiating contracts, right? Yeah, it's good to put people in your car and drive them around and show them properties and things like that, but if they're not making buying decisions and you're not negotiating contracts with listing agents, or if you're the listing agent and you're not negotiating contracts with buyer's agents, you're not making no money. You're just busy. You just got activity going on. But you're not putting yourself in a position where you have checks after checks after checks. I mean, I just told you we went through $1.5 million worth of production in a span of 30 days during a week that I was out the whole week. So that means literally in 2 to 3 weeks, we took $1.5 million worth of production off the board. Those are checks, commission checks, people getting paid, right? And if you're not going on appointments, negotiating contracts, you're not in line getting that money. So you got to be doing these things. And self-improvement. You have got to get better. You have got to get better. You have got to get better. I can't say that enough. It's so many people that are in our profession that are incompetent. And I make a lot of money off of their incompetency because they're throwing people my way. Bad agents are throwing people our way, and we're picking up the ball and we're getting the deal done. We signed a guy yesterday. We signed a guy yesterday who had 2 bad experiences with 2 different agents to the point that he wasn't going to use an agent, right? But we came at him a different way. I mean, and when I say he wasn't going to use an agent, he was not going to use an agent. Like, he was good on it. April talked to him. I talked to him. He wasn't going to do it, right? But we came at him from a different angle. And because we came at him from a different angle, we had a conversation with him that was different from any other agent that he had spoke to. We offered him something that was different than any other agent or real estate company even offered to him, and got him to agree to hire us, right? That's what you got to do. But the only way that I could come at him from that angle is through the self-improvement that I do on a daily basis. Yeah, we've been in this business for a while, but I'm always looking for what's the next thing that I can improve upon? What's the next thing that I can know? What's the next information or the next knowledge that I can get that's going to put me above the next person, right? So that's why I go to the NAREB, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, NAREB, Houston Black Real Estate Association. That's why I go to those annual conferences. That's why I read the Realtor magazines, Houston, Texas, National magazines, RIS Media. That's why I go to the National Association of Realtors conferences. That's why I look at the webinars and go to the seminars and deal with the things that HAR is bringing down the pipeline. Because not only do I want to always get better, I also want to be the go-to person when it comes to knowledge, right? HAR, my volunteer work, and again, I encourage you guys, get involved with HAR. My volunteer work afforded me the opportunity to get in, just this morning, to get into the room with one of our newest state representatives in District 139, Jarvis Johnson. And we were able to have a conversation about affordable housing development that he wants in his district. Now, I'm in a room full of people that don't look like me, that aren't interested in that. But he's interested in that. And if he's interested in that, I'm interested in that. So before we left, I said, hey, look, I think we should connect. He's like, absolutely. I need to get your information. We exchanged information. Networking, right? We talked about that. It ain't just about you sitting on the wall watching things happen, right? It's a noun. It's something you got to take part in, right? We exchanged information to the point of he's, requesting that I connect. Like, I need your information. So we need to talk. We need to get together on this. Like, he's looking to get with me, right? You got to get in the game. Self-improvement, right? That, I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough. All right, so let's talk about our training. Let's talk about our training. Look, you got trust me, you got 60 days of strong opportunity in this business. By the time we get to the last quarter of the year, it's going to slow down, right? I'm not even worried about telling you I told you so, because it doesn't even matter. Like, I know it's going to happen. So you got to pick it up. You got to pick it up over these next 60 days to carry you through the last quarter into the new year. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it, because things are going to slow down. People are going to get caught up in the holidays. They're going to want to spend time with their family. They're going to start traveling. You got to do it. You got to pick it up, right? Now, look, by this time, you should have enjoyed your summer. You should have gone on your trips, your vacations. You done seen who you need to see, gone on your cruises. You done did all that in June and July. You done got it out of your system. So now, for August and September, I know you're going to be dealing with school starting, but now you got to buckle down and really perform over these last 60 days. It's imperative that you do it. So let's talk about what are the things that you need to be focusing on as we go past these next 60 days of performance. Okay, so let's pull up the spreadsheet. Let's pull up the presentation. The very first thing you got to do is get intense. You got to get assertive. You got to get excited every day. Because if you don't get intense and you don't get excited, look, it ain't going to happen, right? So you got to figure out whatever you need to do, whatever you need to tap into to get your mind ready to hit this business full steam ahead. You need to be the bull in the china shop. You need to be wrecking it up mentally every single day. Now, I don't know what that takes for you, right? It may take you spending some time in prayer. It may take you doing some meditation. It may take you working out. It may take you getting a Monster or some Starbucks, right? It may take you doing all of it. Whatever it takes, though, you got to get in the right mind frame every single day before your day starts. And I'm not saying, look, listen to me. If your day's starting at 11 o'clock, you late. You late to the party. 12 o'clock, you late to the party. Listen to me. You can't start your day, especially over these next 60 days. You can't be trying to start your day at noon. You can't. Listen to me. Because we're in a competitive industry. Remember, it's 32,000 licensed real estate professionals in our metroplex. If you're going to compete with an agent like me, who gets his day going between 8:30 and 9 o'clock every day, right? If you're going to compete with me and from a competency level that stays up to date, does all these other things, if you're going to compete with me, how do you think you're going to beat me and you're not getting out of bed until 10:30? What are you going to do? You don't have a chance. So you got to get intense, right? You look at, we'll use football because football season is about to start. You look at superstar players and you look at their workout regimen and you look at how they attack the field, right? They don't look like everybody else. The look on their face, their demeanor is different. Like something's different. Something mentally in their head is going on that's not going on like the average person, right? You got to get yourself to that point, and you got to get there every day. And that's the first thing that's going to help you move to the next level, especially over these next 60 days. Okay. The next thing is you got to set a goal. You got to set a goal, and you got to come up with a prize, because that's one of the things that's going to help you stay focused. Focus is and I use this analogy a lot. You know, what's the difference between a laser and a flashlight, right? They both use light. It's just what they do with the light. A laser focuses the light, a large amount of light. They focus it, and it's destructive, right? I mean, you can take down buildings with focused light like that. A flashlight, same amount of light, but it don't do nothing. All it does is just shines light on if you want to see something, right? So focus is big. You set you a goal, and since we're talking about these 60 days, set you a 60-day goal. If I do this amount of production, right? Not this amount of transactions, because a lot of us, that's how we measure things. We measure things in transactions. Don't measure it in transactions, measure it in production. Because I can do one $500,000 house, or I can do 5 $75,000 houses. Which one you think is going to be better? That one transaction of $500,000 still made more money than those 5 transactions of $75,000. So don't do transactions, do production amount. So you want to do a certain amount of production over a certain amount of time. And if you do a certain amount of production over this time, then give yourself a prize. Now, I haven't set my goal. I haven't come up with what I want my goal to be. I'm going to do that here before the end of the week. That's already on my to-do list. So there's a goal that I want to put in place for the corporate team here. And if we're successful in accomplishing that goal, then I know the prize for me is I've never been to a Texans game. So this year, I'm going to go to a Texans game. So we're talking August, September. So in October or November, I'm going to be looking at the Texans in Reliance Stadium. So it doesn't have to be a humongous goal, just enough to drive you over these next 60 days, because it is so important that you put enough in the pipeline to carry you through. Okay. Now, when we're saying measuring production, okay, what are we measuring, right? We're not measuring closings. Remember, we're not measuring transactions. We're measuring initial property production. You're measuring, ultimately what you're really measuring is How much production are you going to put on the pending board? How much production are you going to put in the pipeline? Because whether you close on it within those 60 days or not, what you're trying to do in these next 60 days is you're trying to drive as much production onto your pending board as possible, because those things will close out the last quarter, right? So you want to drive production. That's what you're measuring. So set a goal and a prize. Okay. The next thing is create and utilize your tools. All right. So what tools are we talking about? When I say create and utilize your tools, what tools are we talking about? Well, we actually spent the last 2 sessions going through different tools or tricks of the trade and things like that. So utilize your hot board. Like, have your hot board. When you talk about being intense, right? You take your intensity and you go to your hot board every morning and you start there. And because on your hot board, those are the most pressing opportunities. Those are the biggest opportunities for production and profitability. So you take that intensity and you go to those boards, and those be your first phone calls, your first engagements, right? Those are the first people that you get on every single day. Every single day. Every single day. Take that intensity to your hot board. Ask April. April's on the call. She knows. Every morning, that's the first thing I ask about, to the point I ain't even got to ask her no more. When she gets in, she automatically goes to it. I've created the habit in her because that's where we start. Those are the people. Somebody calls in the office, put them on the hot board if they're hot. They pre-approved, put them on the hot board. They thinking about listing their house, they're for sale by owner that's considering us, put them on the hot board. Because that is what's going to help drive our follow-up. Remember, lead generation, lead follow-up. The hot board is a mechanism, it's a tool that affords us and assures us that our follow-up game is strong for the people that it needs to be strong for. It needs to be strong for the hot people. All right, so that's what our hot board. So we got the hot board, we have the thermometer we talked about, and then you don't have to use a thermometer, but use something to gauge how much initial appointment production that you're doing on a weekly basis. You have to measure these things, because if you don't measure it, you're not doing it. If you're not measuring how many contacts you're making a week, and if you're a full-time agent and you're not making more, you got to be making at least 100 contacts every week. If you're full-time and you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing, right? I don't know what you're doing. If you're a full-time agent and you're not doing at least 150,000, I ain't even gonna say that. If you're not doing at least $300,000 worth of initial appointment production per week, and I say initial appointment production, I mean meeting with buyers, meeting with listing agents. If you're not doing at least $300,000 worth of that a week, then you're not positioning yourself to be successful in this business. And how much is $300,000 really, right? I mean, the average home in Houston, I had this conversation with April earlier. The average home in Houston, based on MLS data, is $271,000. So you can have a meeting with one average home buyer or home seller, and you 3/4 of the way there. So we're talking about 1.5 people per week. You can't have a meeting with 1.5 people per week that's interested in buying or selling a house, and you're a full-time agent. That means you're wasting your time doing things that you shouldn't be doing. So that should be everybody's goal. Every full-time agent's goal should be 100 contacts a week, 300 initial appointment production, $300 worth of initial appointment production per week. So that's the goal. Look, I done gave y'all goal. Everybody has a goal now. All full-time agents have a goal right now. Their goal is 100 contacts per week, at least $300,000 worth of initial appointment production. Now, whether they sign a listing agreement or not, you just getting in their face at least $300,000 worth of production per week. That's everybody's goal, full time. All right. So then you have your buyers, your buyers board, your listing board, your pending board. These are some other tools that we have. Those people that do hire, those buyers that do hire you, those listing agents that do hire you. Well, you need to have a list to where you can see them, right? Because seeing people on your hot board, seeing the initial appointment production that you're doing weekly, seeing the buyers on your buyer board and the listings on your listing board, seeing that stuff is going to energize you. We talk about getting intense, staying intense. seeing that stuff every day, seeing the fact that you're being productive, that you are accomplishing what you set out to accomplish in this business, that you're not a part-time agent, that you're not a guy that's just doing a deal every now and again, that you're truly engaged and in this business and you're working with people and you're helping people get into houses and you're helping people sell houses, you're truly making a difference. You seeing that stuff every day is going to offer a level of confidence inside of you, and you're going to be able to ride off that confidence into the next appointment and the next appointment and the next buyer's consultation and the next listing appointment and the next interaction and the next negotiation and the next showing where you get a buyer to pick a house. You're going to ride off that energy that you bring. So you want to see that stuff in your face, in your eyes. So you have your boards, and what else? We have your CRE. Your CRM. We're talking about creating, utilizing your tools. Listen, I've been talking about the CRM, and if you have not set your CRM up, if you have not set up your contacts or your database in such a way where you can categorize it and you can target market, then listen to me, you're not going to get there. Like, you're not going to get to the point to where you can be extremely successful in this business. It's not going to happen. Don't be a wishful thinker. Don't believe that you're going to accomplish something when I'm telling you you're not going to accomplish it if you're not organized. If you don't have a CRM, if you can't, like I met Jarvis Johnson today, and in my CRM I have politicians, and I can put his information in there. So I can click on that in my CRM, and I can see all the politicians and all their contact information of the people that I've met over the time that I've been in real estate, right? And I can specifically target them for something from a marketing standpoint. I can do that. I have it set up that way. Well, if you don't have yours set up that way, look, you need to call me. You need to come into the office. We need to get that stuff together if you're a Brooks & Davis agent. If you're not a Brooks & Davis agent, you either need to do it or you need to join Brooks & Davis and we can help you do it. But it's imperative that you do that. Your email serve account. So your MailChimp, Constant Contact, you got to have something in place. These things need to be set up because while you're lead generating, you need to be feeding them every time, every day. You need to be putting new people in your CRM, in your database. You need to be putting new people in your email serve. You need to be adding new people on your social media because those are going to be your platforms that you provide value. You're going to provide when things come across your desk, knowledge, information, service. I attended an HAR event, and one of the presenters, he wasn't in real estate, he was a tech guy, but he looks at the real estate industry, and he said when he was buying a house or as a consumer, he was speaking from a consumer base, that the consumer is looking for service. And what service is as a realtor is, give me the information, give me the data. What's going on from a real estate space or a municipal space or just anything, educate me. Real estate is education, right? So the real estate service that we offer is education. We educate people on our industry. Well, these are your platforms that you're going to use, and you got to set them up. You got to have them ready to go, especially if we're talking about getting intense and driving home the next 60 days. This stuff I'm making an assumption is already set up because your 60 days starts August 1st. So that means, look, if this stuff's not set up, you need to be spending the next 48 hours or 3 days getting all this stuff together, right? Position yourself to be able to go intense and go hard for the next 60 days. Have this stuff done, right? I was on the phone with my Zillow representative yesterday, and one of the things that I found out is that you can actually create your Zillow profile is free. You do not have to be a Premier agent to create your Zillow profile. And you do not have to be a Premier agent, and Premier agents are people that pay a certain amount of money every month, depending on the zip code. But you don't have to be a Premier agent to have a profile. And you can get your ratings and put your ratings on your profile. Now, we've talked about Zillow and the internet presence that Zillow commands in our industry. So we've had that conversation. Zillow, depending on who you ask, commands between 65 and 75% of the internet market for home buyers. So if they command that much space on the internet, and we all know that 90% of homeowners, the first place they start, or home buyers, the first place they start when looking for a home is the internet, why wouldn't you want to be connected to the person that commands that amount of space, that amount of market share? So please, please set up your Zillow profile. Now, another thing that Agnes, her name's Agnes, what she told me was that if you set up your Zillow profile, because you're a part of Brooks and Davis real estate firm, that I can take you and add you to my page. Now, we are a premier agent, so that means there are people that look at our page because we pay for a certain ranking in different areas, and because right now we have 26 listings, and adding more and adding, we get people come to our page and things and look at our page at our listings. So we drive a lot of traffic to our Zillow page. So when you set up your free Zillow profile, then you let me know, and then I'll call Agnes and I'll say, Agnes, this is one of my team members. You need to add them to my page. And they'll put your picture, your information, and a link to your Zillow profile page. So they may see your picture and like you better than they like me. And then they're going to click on your page, right? And again, they're going to put the amount of sales that you had and reviews. Here, let me show you mine. I got mine up. If you ain't never seen a Zillow profile page, this is what I mean when I say a Zillow profile page. So one of the things that I've really been pushing all my clients is to give us reviews. So we got 14 reviews. That's our rating. Now our sales are low. That's one of the things that Agnes told me about. So over this next week or so, I have it on my list that we need to get in there and we need to plug in all of our sales activity for the last 12 months. Because right now we're just showing 6 sales. So we're going to be doing that here really soon. Because again, all of this stuff matters when people are looking at you. So when you create your profile, you need to make sure all your sale info is up to date of the amount of sales that you've done. Encourage your clients to give you reviews. You can put your description in there, create your little video. We even have one of our lenders, that's Harold with Blackstone Mortgage, who's one of our premier lenders. He's on our page. And then it has all your listings and things, and it has your past sales on there. So, and it's free, right? You can't beat free. So this is one of the tools and things that you need to get set up, and you need to get it set up sooner than later. There's hundreds of internet sites that want you to put up profiles and that want you to put up information. Like, you can get bogged down. Like, all they talk about is real estate technology here and software there and cloud-based this and cloud-based that. I'm talking to you. I'm going to talk to you about the stuff that works. I'm exposed to all that stuff that they talk about at the Big E. I recommend y'all go to the Big E. The Big E that HAR does every year. The technology conference that TAR does. The National Association talks about it. NARAB talks about it. Everybody's talking technology when it comes to the real estate space. And if you listen to all of them and you spend your money, you'll be out of thousands of dollars just on technology and software stuff, right? So you got to be smart on where you direct your funds and your time, your money and your time, because it takes time to create all this stuff. Well, I'm going to point you to the stuff that I know works and that brings in the leads and the phone calls. And your Zillow profile is one of the ones. You got to be on Zillow, whether you're paying for the attention or the traction, or you're connected to somebody like me who's paying for the attraction, and you just piggyback off of it because you're one of our agents. You got to do it. You got to do it. Okay, and then let's see, MLS Platinum tools. So those are some other, what should you be creating and utilizing right now? What are your tools that you should be creating and utilizing? Your MLS Platinum tools, right? Those are the things that we talked about, again, over the last couple of weeks. The MLS Platinum services. I mean, I'm talking about MLS Platinum, man. HAR needs to put me on their salary. As much as I'm telling y'all about MLS Platinum services. But again, some of the stuff work. It makes sense to do it if you use the resources that they offer. If you're not going to use the blog or the client relationship experience program or the agent, if you're not going to use that stuff and take your time populating it and putting your information on there and putting it in front of your audience, if you're not going to do that, then yeah, $129 extra a year is a lot of money. But if you're going to do that stuff, then your rate of return, trust me, is going to be a lot greater than $129. You're going to get a whole lot more money if you do it the right way and you do it according to how I've been training you guys the last couple of weeks on how to do it. So just a revisit of what were the biggest ones that I talked about. Your blog, right? So you can have some level that consistent platform of information that you're giving out to your audience. You can send your blog through your social media, through your CRM, through your email set. See, that's why it's so important that you have this stuff set up already, because you can't perform and do it if the foundation hasn't been created. Right? What's the point of creating a blog if you're not organized to the point to where you have anybody to send it to, right? And you're not, and send it to them quickly, right? If you got your Facebook business page set up, and that's growing organically, and you got your email serve set up, and that's growing organically, and you got your CRM set up, and that's growing organically, right? Because when you go out and you do your networking and you meet people and people call in, they call about your properties, and you're putting them in these different places, and you look up and that thing's growing, right? Your Facebook's up to 1,500. You got 1,500 followers and likes on your business page. You got 2,000 people in your MailChimp. You have 2,000 people in your, or 1,000 people in your CRM, and broke down in different categories. Okay, well now when you do a blog and it's done, boom, you can pinpoint. You can send it to different people, and then they can share the blog information, right? So again, that's how you grow. That's how you get more people, and it starts becoming organic. It allows you to be consistent. Same thing with your client experience rating. You start sending your ratings out. Start sending your Zillow profile out that has your ratings on it. Every time you get a new rating from a client, send your profile out to your email, to your audience, so they can see that you just helped somebody. And it's not you saying it. They're able to read the comment of the person that you just helped. That's the way for you to do it. And your agent website. Again, the internet, you being on the internet in multiple places is going to give you more market share in people's minds, you being in front of them. You have the HAR branded app, and then you got your virtual office website. So these are just, and those are two things of value that when you put in place, you can create a little flyer around it, and then you can, pass those out. Like if you're a part of your PTO or at your church, or like you have something of value that you can bring to the table that gives people a reason to pay attention to you. See, the world moves, society moves so fast right now that people can quickly not pay attention to you. You can get ignored, right? Because there's so much for people to put their attention to. So now what you have to do is you have to give people a reason to pay attention to you. And the way that you do that is that you provide value. You give them something that they can't get anywhere else. You got a position, and trust me, man, it is not hard to do that in this business, because there are so people that are your peers that are not doing the things that I'm encouraging you to do. So it's not hard. It's not hard to set yourself above everybody else. It's not. Believe me, it is not. People's expectations are so low when it comes to real estate professionals. The last presentation that I went to at HAR, it says that I think every 10 years, the Yale University does a review on the most desired occupations. And 10 years ago, real estate professionals were second to last, and we were in front of I think brokers, stockbrokers. And then the last 10 years, I think they did another one in 2010, we was dead last. So it's not going to be hard. People have low expectations for us as professionals. Well, all you got to do is do these things that I'm encouraging you to do, and you're gonna catapult yourself light speeds above most people in this business and in this industry. So when I was putting this together, I knew it was going to take me a couple of sessions to go through what you need to be doing over these next 60 days. because the next one is, let's see. Yeah, that was everything for the tools. So next week, we're going to go through 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6. We'll do a little brief recap of what I talked about today, but we're going to go through 4, 5, and 6 next week on what you should be doing over the next 60 days. If you don't have your stuff set up from create and utilize your tools, you haven't set a goal and a prize, you need to do all of that before we get back together next week. You need to set your stuff up because you have got to hit the ground running. When we start talking about lead generation, follow up, and going on appointments and transactions like a cowboy, when we start talking about 4 and 5 last week, you're not going to be able to do that stuff if you don't have that foundational stuff set up. I mean, you're not going to be able to do it, and you're not going to be able to position yourself to be successful over these next 60 days. So for this next week, anybody that has questions about getting their stuff set up, getting their tools set up, whether that's MailChimp, whether that's Wise Agent, or whatever CRM you're going to use, whether that's the boards, whatever it is, call me so I can help walk you through it, give you some ideas, give you some insights so we can help you get there. But it's imperative that you have that stuff set up. Again, the one thing that I cannot do is that I can't do it for you. I can't put in the effort. All I can do is give you the direction and the ideas and the insight and the motivation. That's what I'm here for as your broker. That's what I'm here for. That's what Brooks is here for. We're here to motivate you. We're here to give you the opportunity. We're here to give you direction. But we're not here to do the transaction for you. And if you don't do the transaction or do the lead generating or do the things that I'm talking about and you don't make the money, you can't point the fingers at me. Well, you can, but at the end of the day, the truth can stand on its own, right? So I don't need to defend myself against the truth, and I won't. If you're not making no money and you're not doing the things that we're telling you to do and you're not taking advantage of the opportunities that we're putting in place, that's not on me. That's not on us. That's on you. And until you acknowledge that, things are not going to change for you, and you're not going to create your new life until you change. It's about you, right? We're just here to be a supplement and to complement what you're doing. Again, it's always a pleasure having these meetings with you guys. I look forward to next week. I know it's going to be a strong week. You're more than welcome to stay on. If anybody has any one-on-ones, any coaching that they need, that they want to talk about, this is your time. Let's go through it. Again, I love the dialogue, so let's go through it. Anybody? Anybody got any comments? Any questions? Any testimonies of some things that they had go well for them in their business? Any of you guys on the call have your stuff set up? Don't all talk at once. Just take your mic off mute just so I know that it works. Anybody gonna say nothing? Don't be shy. Get your intensity up. That was the first thing we talked about. Get intense. They don't want to talk to me. Okay. Well, look. Go through. If you don't take anything else away from today, the next 60 days are very important. So don't waste it. Don't waste these next 60 days. All right. What comes to mind is that fairy tale. I guess they're fairy tales, fables. The fable with the ant and the grasshopper. And I don't know if you remember it, but you had the ant who during the summertime they spent their time working and gathering food and preparing themselves for the winter, because winter is coming. But the grasshopper decided that he wanted to hang out and relax, play. I think I remember the pictures of they had the grasshopper playing the little guitar, And he was just hanging, man, and watching the ants work. And the ants were like, "Look, you need to get your stuff, gather you some food." And I think the grasshopper would ask him, "Why are you working so hard? Like, you need to relax. You need to hang out." But when winter came, and it came, the ants had what they needed. And I just remember the picture of the grasshopper just out in the cold shivering. No food, no clothes, nothing. And I think the fable ended with the ants having to end up letting the grasshopper into their house for the winter. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be the grasshopper. So if you don't want to be the grasshopper when the winter get here, then you need to act like an ant right now, and you need to get it in over these next 60 days. Look, we're always here for you. Call me on my cell, call me at the office. You got questions, you got concerns. Let's get them answered. Let's get it going. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Tell as many people as you can about the Sellers Workshop. We'll see you. Get as many for sale owners as you can on the phone and get them to that event. And you guys have a fantastic weekend, fantastic time in doing this business. And we'll be talking to you soon. All right? Have a great one.